Hey, what's up guys? Gons here with another video for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. First off, just a quick update on the Netanyahu thing. A lot of people are talking about this Brookings Report back in 2009 that was published. It's called Which Path to Persia? Options for a New American Strategy Towards Iran. And in this, it pretty much lays out the strategy that the United States will have to use in conjunction with Israel, mind you, to go after Iran. And I found it fascinating. I mean, this is openly admitting to conspiring to make this happen. So it's very likely that this whole Obama versus Netanyahu thing is completely staged. And we'll just have to see, as things unfold. But I thought I would just let you guys know about that. And I will link to the Brookings Report called Which Path to Persia? Options for a New American Strategy Towards Iran. Again, it was published in 2009. I'll link to it and you guys can check it out. And that's that, just a side note. But in today's video, I want to talk about what I'm calling GOOGLE-TOPIA, and internet fascism is here. Now, what I'm talking about is an article that was published by The New Scientist back on February 28th. And what this article talks about is how Google wants to change the rankings of their search engine based on the quality of facts and not just links. So to help you guys understand how this works, Google ranks websites based on incoming links. Basically, if a lot of people are linking to the article with Twitter or Facebook or their own blogs, if a lot of people are talking about it and linking to that site, that website will automatically rise to the top of the search engine because it shows that people are talking about it, people are sharing it, etc. And so there's this phrase called social proof in that, the people are discussing it, therefore it's going to rise to the top of the search engine. Well, now what they're saying is that they want to change this algorithm not to reflect incoming links as a proxy, but actual facts. Now, this is troubling on several fronts. Now, let me just read for you a couple paragraphs from this article, and you'll get a good sense of what I'm talking about here. It says, the internet is stuffed with garbage. Anti-vaccination websites make the front page of Google, and the fact-free, quote, news stories spread like wildfire. Google has devised a fix. Rank websites according to their truthfulness. Google's search engine currently uses the number of incoming links to a web page as a proxy for quality, determining where it appears in search results. So pages that many other sites link to are ranked higher. This system has brought us the search engine as we know it today, but the downside is that websites full of misinformation can rise up the ranking if enough people link to them. A Google research team is adapting the model to measure the trustworthiness of a page rather than its reputation across the web. Instead of counting incoming links, the system, which is not yet live, counts the number of incorrect facts within a page. And then it quotes here this website from Cornell University Library, the knowledge-based trust, estimating the trustworthiness of web sources. And the quote they have here is, a source that has few false facts is considered to be trustworthy, says the team. The score they compute for each page is its knowledge-based trust score. And what they're doing over at the computer sciences department at Cornell University, they're trying to show that, they basically say the same thing as the article in sort of, more technical terms, so to speak. But again, a source that has few false facts is considered trustworthy. And then it continues, the facts are automatically extracted from each source by information extraction methods commonly used to construct knowledge bases. We propose a way to distinguish errors made in the extraction process from factual errors in the web source per se by using joint inference in a novel multi-layer probabilistic model. We call the trustworthiness score a computed knowledge-based trust, a KBT. On synthetic data, we show that our method can reliably compute the true trustworthiness levels of the sources. We then apply it to the databases of 2.8 billion facts extracted from the web and thereby estimate the trustworthiness of 119 million web pages. So there's a couple things that are really a problem here. First off, who determines facts? This is a really important question, and this is a really honest question. Who determines the facts? If somebody comes out with information that is totally true, but is totally against the consensus, is that going to be considered fact or is that going to be considered false? The second problem is the lingo they're using here. Okay, this made me laugh, and other people have pointed this out, but I just thought it was hysterical. They look at incorrect facts within a page. Now let's do a little word study. The word incorrect means not correct as a fact, inaccurate, wrong, improper, unbecoming, or inappropriate, not correct in form, okay? So a fact is something that actually exists, reality or truth, something known to exist or to have happened, okay? So an incorrect fact is a not correct as a fact. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? I mean, I think they're trying to pull a fast one, and I think Google, in compliance with this new net neutrality thing, is the first to step up and say, okay, we will take the plunge and help create this new internet based on all these rules. And so incorrect facts or false facts. Let's do a word study on false. Not true. A not true fact. But what's a fact? Remember, a fact is something that actually exists. So do you see the logical inconsistency here with this whole thing? Well, this, especially for folks like myself and probably you guys watching this and other websites and, ministries and people, organizations that are doing sort of the real reporting, so to speak, of what's really going on in the world, those are the people that are probably going to get silenced pretty quickly because they're up against the status quo. And again, how is truthfulness going to be determined? What sources ultimately does all this trustworthiness level go to? Does it go back to Cornell University and the library there? Like, oh, if it's there, then it must be trustworthy. This is very problematic. And if we look at the idea of epistemology real quick, epistemology is the study of knowledge. It's a philosophical concept. And if we look at the idea of truth, let me just read for you briefly, just one paragraph here, and you'll kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to get at here. We might say that the most typical purpose of beliefs is to describe or capture the way things actually are. That is, when one forms a belief, one is seeking a match between one's mind and the world. We sometimes, of course, form beliefs for other reasons, to create a positive attitude, to deceive ourselves, and so forth. But when we seek knowledge, we are trying to get things right. And alas, we sometimes fail to achieve such a match. Some of our beliefs do not describe the way things actually are. Note that we are assuming here that there is such a thing as objective truth, so that it is possible for beliefs to match or to fail to match with reality. That is, in order for someone to know something, there must be something one knows about. And it goes on here, but basically what it's saying is that truth, by definition, epistemologically, is information that confirms or denies reality. And so, this reminds me of a sermon I heard one time about the 3 buckets of knowledge and where to place information that we get. One bucket is your opinion bucket. You form opinions. I like hot dogs. You don't like hot dogs. There's no real truthfulness gauge meter there. So, it's a preference. You can put stuff like that into the opinion bucket. Then you have beliefs. These are a little bit stronger ideas. You believe them to be true. They may not be true. For example, you can be sort of a fan of a sports team or something. I watch the Lakers down here. Sometimes I can say the Lakers are the best sports organization in the world. And I can sincerely believe that, but it may or may not be true. It's a little bit kind of in between opinion, but it's still a belief. It's not just an opinion. It's an actual belief because, I'm a fan. But then there's a bucket of conviction. And this is where things like Christ died on the cross and shed his blood for our sins and rose again so that we may have everlasting life. That is a conviction. I am willing to die on a hill for that. That is a strong conviction. So again, there's opinions, beliefs, convictions. And so how does this whole Google algorithm determine that stuff, So based on the concept of epistemology, they presuppose that there is this thing called objective truth, that there is an actual truth, reality. And, what we're trying to do is best understand or best reflect that reality, which is external to us. But getting back on point, the bottom line is that the internet is becoming censored. They are trying to censor the internet. And it's very troubling that this software known as the Knowledge Vault is going to determine what's true and what's not. And if you look at the very first paragraph that I read for you earlier, it says anti-vaccination websites make the front page of Google, which is asserting, basically, the article writer is saying that is false. Anti-vaccination is a false thing. It's not true. It's a bad thing. It should not be at the top. And alongside that, a fact-free news stories and quotations spread like wildfire. Well, this is really starting to look quite Orwellian. And this is fascism. They are determining what truth is, and they are going to control the search engine, the Google search engine, based on their definition of what is true, what is not, what is false. And this is what we're headed towards, guys. And this is fascist thinking. Well, you know, I was talking with my friend Natalina, and we were sort of reflecting on the state of the world. And we were talking about Brave New World and 1984, and we were like, you know, if you step back and look at where we're at, culturally, historically, things are really, really bad, guys. I mean, it is getting worse and worse. And, you know, it's both 1984 and Brave New World. You know, on the one hand, we have this Orwellian nightmare that we're living in. This whole surveillance state that 1984 talks about is becoming a reality. And what we're seeing, you know, based on what I mentioned at the very top of this video, we're seeing this phantom nebulous concept of terror. You know, in Orwell, they had this perpetual war between Oceania and Eurasia to keep the populace in fear, you know, this looming threat. And we're seeing that play out exactly. And, you know, at the same time, if someone gets depressed or, you know, is troubled by this stuff and whatever, they can go to the doctors and they can pop you pills, just like Brave New World and the Soma. So again, we are living in some very, very interesting times, and it just makes me want, number one, people to wake up, and number two, to pray diligently for Jesus to come back quickly, because he's the only one that's going to really put an end to this. We will do what we can, wake people up, inform people. You know, I have this YouTube channel. Who knows how long it will last? You know, at some point, if they start using this truth meter, they might bump me down or whatever, because it's not based on fact according to the knowledge base of facts, you know, like the Cornell University Library Global Brain. So, you know, we'll see how it goes down. But that's all I wanted to say for this video, guys. Please continue sharing. I know I'm kind of all over the place with different subject matters, but I'm trying to tackle things that convict me on a daily basis and, you know, just keep things going. I appreciate all of the encouragement I've been getting from you guys. It's really helpful. And I thank you guys for continuing to come back to this channel and subscribing and sharing and commenting and all that stuff. So that's about it for today. Thanks, guys. God bless.